I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success, let's get down to business.
And indeed, we're all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship in business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. So my first guest on the program is an entrepreneur that Forbes has called a visionary in every sense of the word, and that's exactly the kind of guest we like to have here on Get Down to Business. I'm thrilled to be joined by Deepak Ohri, who's the founder and CEO of Labua Hotels and Resorts in both Thailand, India, and New Zealand. I learned something new. It's actually they've been featured in Hangover, and he is a well-known worldwide as an award-winning entrepreneur who's credited with elevating experiential luxury hospitality landscape throughout the Asian Pacific. I don't want to share any more in that introduction because I want to squeeze in every second we have. Deepak, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Shalom. It's such a pleasure and honor. Really appreciate
it. Absolutely. So I know, Labua, you have a global collection of 5-star hotels and fine restaurants in Thailand, New Zealand, and India. And in fact, you've created the world's highest rooftop restaurant, which is super duper cool. So Deepak, how did you get into this line of work? I want to get to know the guest behind the microphone.
So I got into this line of work by default. So I grew up in India, and at that point of time in India, the whole focus was on expertise. So either you have to be an engineer, or you have to be a doctor, or you have to be a software programmer, and then, or either civil services, and then you're considered like a great kid. And I couldn't get into any of these things. And this is the only professional course I could get into by default. But I'm so happy and proud that I'm here because I love talking to people. I love interacting with people, and I couldn't have found a better profession than this.
That's amazing, and you're doing quite well for yourself, and indeed, you have quite the reputation for what you're building. But I find it interesting because often your name is described as connected in that word of luxury. But I know that you argue that the luxury is not about a price tag, but actually in that emotional experience. Can you tell us a little bit of what you mean by that?
Okay, so for me, I think there are many stories, but I'm going to tell you my latest story. So we co-created a course with Dr. Anna Pitrasek at the Florida International University, and it was called a Luxury Incubator course for MBA students. And we took the MBA students to New York, Miami, and LA. And we took them to everything that would fit, like all the bling blings, all the top luxury stores, everything. And last day of the program, we took them to have a cup of coffee, which was costing $2. But this coffee shop was everybody going there. You could see all the kind of cars, Rolls Royce, Porsche, convertible, everything. But everyone has to stand in a queue. And then we took the students for a $3 scoop gelato. And on the way back, everybody had tears. And the reason they had tears because some of them thought that they would not be able to experience luxury in the coming years. And little did they realize that we always enjoy luxury at every moment, provided we want to enjoy it. And they learned that the life is to live the life and experience the life. That's why luxury is an experience and it is an expression. But when it becomes expensive, it becomes a price tag. And that's why I always say luxury is to live every moment. For me, the luxury is to be on your show, Shalom.
Well, I greatly appreciate it, Deepak. Again, I'm chatting with the founder and CEO of Labua Hotels and Resorts, which has a global collection of 5-star hotels and fine restaurants in Thailand, New Zealand, and India. And Deepak is the author of a brand new book. It's called A Bridge Not Too Far, Where Creativity Meets Innovation. And already we've been diving deep into the conversation and talking about some of the approaches, Deepak, that I know you have and that you where you share your story of humble beginnings that has fueled that innovative entrepreneurial spirit and your approach to business and to life, which is great. But our audience, we have a lot of small business owners. We've got a lot of folks that are developing their passion, building their reputation, and building their own relationships with their customers. And I'm curious what advice you have. I know you talk a lot about how customers need to be treated, and I know that goes to everybody that you are privileged to having your employee in hotels and restaurants. What advice do you have for the entrepreneurs that are tuning in?
Okay, so everyone who's listening in and everyone who is tuned in, if you don't dream, please switch off the radio. This program is not for you. But if you dream, then this program is for you, because you should work hard to achieve your dream. And I'm just going to give you 4 facts about me. At the age of 6, I had my Coca-Cola, first Coca-Cola. I never thought a drink like that exists. At the age of 18, I would remember broccoli is a green color cauliflower, smaller in size. At the age of 21, I took my first flight and I learned how to fasten the seatbelt. My first job at the age of 23, I went overseas and there was a booking from a company called JP Morgan, which is an investment bank. And I took down the reservation, Mr. Morgan, 2 people at 12 noon for lunch. And I had to buy something and somebody said, why don't you go to 7-Eleven? And they have that stuff. And I would say 7 to 11. This is my beginning. But you know what? In my beginning, I always used to dream. And I didn't have a FOPO, that is fear of people's opinion. On the contrary, I would create ROPO out of every FOPO. That is, ROPO is respect of people's opinion. So 3 things. Dream, most important thing. Work hard to achieve your dreams. And third, never have FOPO. That's it, Shalom.
I love it, and especially I know you and I were talking offline. Being an Army guy with acronyms, I'm very comfortable with it. So the fact that you certainly have embraced acronyms, which means that it's as we always say, you're building it into muscle memory, something that you live by, and I could hear it in your voice, which is awesome. Deepak, you're the author of this book, A Bridge Not Too Far, Where Creativity Meets Innovation. You share a lot of your stories, which is great. And I know in just a couple of minutes before we wrap up, we're going to send people to your website, to Labuah Hotels and Resorts. But the nice thing is that people may have gotten a taste of your hotels, because you have actually been featured, one of your restaurants, and has actually been featured in Hangover 2. So I have to ask, because I know our listeners would be mad at me if I didn't find out the story of that. Hangover, it's a great movie and, comical and all that, but I don't know if I'd associate such a wild and crazy movie with the Labuah. How did that come to be?
The producers came to us and we took the movie and we said, we need to do a marketing alliance. And we changed the time of the shoot, because we never close our restaurants at the night time. So we did the daytime shoot. So the whole thing came along, and we were the first hotel company in the world to do the marketing alliance. And Shalom, The Bridge Not Too Far is actually more than my life journey. It is a great marketing book. It is a book that everybody should read who wants to achieve something in their life, because this book talks about not the best things in life. It tells you that there are failures also. But it also teaches people, be brave to accept your failures. And when you were talking about one of our restaurants at the Hangover Part 2, I'm very proud that Hangover Part 2 was shot there, Shalom. But I'm equally proud that we did, until today, the world's most expensive commercial dinner at one of our 2-star restaurant called Mezzaluna. That was $30,000 per person, plus, and we were full house.
That's incredible. That's awesome. I hear the passion in your voice, and I know that it extends certainly to, again, your customers, but to your staff as well. And Deepak, I really want to have you back on, because I know that we could get into so many different areas of, like you said, marketing, which is something that our listeners want to learn a lot about. But Deepak, before we wrap up every segment, I always like to get a homework assignment, if you will, for our listeners, especially those entrepreneurs that are out there. What if they remember nothing else from this conversation? What would you like them to do in the week ahead that will set them up for success?
Remember one of your fears and convert that into respect. Just one exercise you do. And second, whenever you're crossing a bridge, remember, a bridge not too far. And once you remember a bridge not too far, you'll reach to your destination, and that's what life is all about. Life is not a sprint, it is a marathon. And when it is a marathon, the bridge is not too far, and there should not be any fear. And that's what the book is all about, Shalom.
I love it. Deepak, I know that if folks Google your name, they'll find a lot of links, but where would you like people to get in touch with you and find out more about the book and as well as all your important work?
DeepakOhri.com. The easiest thing, go to DeepakOhri.com. You will know everything about me. And do tell me what you read, because maybe something I have not seen or heard about myself. So you will hear everything and you'll see everything about me at DeepakOhri.com.
And I know people can get in touch with you, Deepakohri.com, where people can get the book as well as the amazing, amazing work that you're doing, Deepak. Don't be a stranger. Come back on. Get down to business real soon. But we've got to squeeze in a very quick break here on the show, all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. We're going to come right back. Lots more entrepreneurs that you will not want to miss a minute of. Don't touch that dial.